I will be super honest. I'm almost overwhelmed by this next interview. There have been more than 600 mass shootings in America so far this year. But would you know what to do if you were in one of those horrible situations? Well, our next guest definitely did. He used his 15 years of military training to help disarm a shooter right here in Colorado that killed 5 people and wounded many, many more when he opened fire at an LGBTQ plus nightclub called Club Q. Richard was there with his friends and family. Many of them were shot. Tragically, one was even killed, his daughter's boyfriend named Raymond Green Vance. Now, Richard is being called a hero. Please welcome, I'm shaking to DBL, Mr. Richard Fierro.
Thank you.
I understand you want to be called Rich, so I'm going to honor that request. Rich, yeah, we're coming up on almost a month since this mass shooting. How are you and your family and friends doing?
I mean, we're hanging in there. We're getting through it day by day. And I've said this before, all of us are going to go through this for a very long time. You know, you go through it and you try and focus on the positive. My daughter's found a lot of solace in the last few moments she had with Raymond that were amazing. So that's helping her. It doesn't make it any easier, but it just helps her. And then my wife is going along with her broke ribs and doing her thing. But, you know, me and her are blessed, and so was my daughter, just with a broken knee. I mean, there was so much worse that could have happened.
Well, you are a hero, so I'm curious. Can you take us back to what happened? No, I know you don't. You've said in articles you didn't want to be called that, but you saved a lot of lives. So I want you to walk us through what happened. You called it a combat situation, but did you even have a choice about jumping in to stop the gunman, or was it like fight or flight training just took over?
So I've learned consciously that my fight or flight is kind of broken. So I do a lot of fight, which is not helpful in certain situations. But in this situation, it did help a little bit. Thomas apparently had engaged with the shooter at about the same time that I went over and engaged as well. Listen, bottom line is, if you hear gunfire, you're in a room full of your family. My entire Colorado family was there. The only thing I could think of was to stop whatever it was that was trying to hurt us, and that's really the main point. There was heroes in every facet of that event. Joshua, for taking my daughter in the back room, is a hero to me. The trans woman that stomped on the gentleman, I don't even call them gentlemen.
That's right. That's right.
The shooter's face. It's not something natural. You don't ask people to do that, and they did. Thomas did the same thing. Thomas went at a shooter as well. So it just takes a team. It takes brave people to do things that are outside of natural, if you will.
But you know, you were. I've been looking for this interview since yesterday, and I was shocked to read that you felt some guilt when you were telling people, after you and the other gentleman had taken down the gunman, about giving orders, which included kicking and stomping this monster. I just wish you had said do it harder. But you know, how do you feel about that?
They did it pretty hard.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and there's still time for more.
So, I mean, there's always guilt, and I've learned a lot of techniques through the VA and my combat experiences. You can't do the what ifs and couldas, shouldas. You can only live with what you did. I think asking people to even Thomas to kick that guy for as long as he did and hit him as long as I did, it's just not natural. It's not something that you wish on anyone, enemy or not. It's just not human. And I think people got to learn that this kind of stuff needs to. I mean, just people need to be nice, man. It's not cool. This is not anything that anybody wants to go through. And for the rest of our lives, we'll be forever changed.
Wow. I've also been really looking forward to this, just to say thank you. I know there was a whole patio that monster was headed towards that you stopped. And I think a lot of people would like to think that they would do what you did. But Rich, if I may be so bold, you have years and years of experience. What do you have to say to people who think that? Should we be ready to do that?
Listen, I own a business too, and I was just talking to the owner of the club itself. And we're looking at how do you do security? How do you ramp up and do all these things to protect people? Here's the bottom line. And I fought for this country so we can be free and do whatever we want. I don't want to walk into a place and get wanded off and go through metal detectors. And, you know, nobody wants to do that. So we've got to figure out how to stop this from the beginning. And again, like I've been saying, I think kindness will help. Who knows, that hug or that hello you gave to someone maybe stops them from doing something heinous. But at the end of the day, I don't want to change how these things go. I don't want people to go into a place scared. That's not how we live. 9/11, we all told each other they will not change our daily lives. I think these mass shootings is the same kind of thing. You cannot let them change your life.
Well said.
Now, Rich, we have about a minute left, but I want to talk about the gunman who we are not naming, as is our policy, has been charged with more than 300 crimes, including murder and hate crimes. What is justice for you in this situation?
I don't define it. Bottom line is, I feel like I did what I needed to do, and my daughter feels like I did what I needed to do for her consciousness with losing her boyfriend there. We both have our opinions, but at the end of the day, that's not for us to say. Justice is what it is, and we accept it as it is, because that's what we are if we're Americans.
Wow. Richard, thank you so much.
Really quickly, have you thought about running for any kind of public office?
Yeah, I was thinking he should run.
We need people like you. I quite frankly.
I'm a very flawed man. There's no way I'm running for anything. But I will tell you, it's been brought up, and at the end of the day, I just want people to be nice. If I can, and that's the only reason I speak to folks, is just so that they can hopefully get something out of this, and it's not a negative event, and we can all get something positive out of it.
Can you plug your wife and your brewery? I think it's in Colorado Springs. Can you just say it? I just want to hear them.
Yeah, I thought the beer company is our brewery, small 6-person business, and it is amazing, and we are completely overwhelmed and humbled by the support everyone's given us. It may take me a year, 2 years to send out all the stuff people have bought. We're still trying to get through this, so once we start next year, we'll probably start pushing everything out. But right now, I appreciate everybody's patience with us as a small business.
We appreciate you, sir.
Absolutely. We spoke to someone very special today. You were honored to hear from him. Thank you so much, sir. We'll be right back. Thanks, Rich.
Thanks, Rich.